Hi, let's discuss about this particular topic today. It is a non-decreasing array. If we look at the problem statement, what it says is for a given list of numbers, um, we can modify at least, we should modify only one element and make sure the entire list is in an increasing order. Say, for example, let's consider this to be the list. If we observe the list values here, it is 4, 2, and 3. Now I have to make only one element modification so that the entire list is in an ascending order. So how do I change it? I can logically, if you think, I can change this 4 with this value of 2 so that the entire list is in an increasing order. Say if I consider this particular array, I can change this 4 to 2, whereas I also again need to change the value of 1 over here, which becomes 2 modifications. So that is not allowed as per the problem statement. So this is the baseline of this problem statement. Now let's try to implement it. Since I have to maintain a count of one modification, I will initiate a variable count with an value 0, and I'm going to iterate through the list. I'm going to start with the first address until the end of the list. First, I'm going to check if the value in this particular first address, the value in this index 1 um, is less than this value in the zeroth index. If nums of I minus 1 is the zeroth index value is greater than the value in the first, which means ith index, which is if the previous value is greater than the next value, then there itself it is clear that the list is not in an ascending order. Now we have to bring it to an ascending order. How do I, so I'm incrementing the counter here, and I'm checking if it is the first index. Then if the value, if the i's value is first index, then replace the previous value with I, because the value of first is already known to be lesser than the previous index value. So I'm simply substituting the value in the first index to the previous index. Else, substitute the current index with the previous index. Okay. Count is greater than 1, then return false, else return true. Let's try to run the code. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry again. Length of numbers. Okay. Now we are comparing only the previous element. Uh, Now let's try to print it. Let's try to print and look what the problem is. Okay, these are the different iterations. Um, okay, if we observe, we are just comparing the previous element, if it is lesser than or not. Um, we are forgetting to maintain that particular single modification over here. So if I'm going to check only in this if condition, if I'm going to check only if the ith value is only one, then we are requiring more than one modification. Now we have to include an additional comment over condition over here, which is we should also check the previous element. Instead of checking only the previous element, we should also check the second previous element. Now we are making the comparison only between the say if the pointer is here in the place of 2, I'm making the comparison only between the previous index value and the current index value. Whereas if I follow this particular logic, I am requiring more than one modification. Now I have to cut down the modification to only one. So I'm going to make a comparison between the current and the second previous value. So if nums of I minus 2 is less than nums of the current index, then I'm substituting the current index value to the previous one. Instead of doing the previous one to this, I'm substituting this to this, because already my previous index and the current index is in a lesser value. Only the mid portion is the greater value between these two. So it is advisable to substitute only the current index value to the previous index. Let's try to run the code. Yes, now the test case has passed. So the simple logic is compare the current index value with the previous one and the second previous one. And if the current value and the second previous values are less, then simply substitute the current value with the previous one. That is the logic. Let me try to submit the code. Okay. Yeah, all the test cases have passed. Thank you.